Hello.
What's going on, everybody? It is the Scarves and Spikes podcast. Woo!
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate everybody coming out. If you just happen to be at the hotel right now and we started talking in your ear, just know you've ended up in a live show. And we're getting ready for the Atlanta United game to kick off, home opener, Atlanta versus New England.
We'll have you all sign the release later if you just came in and you have no idea what's going on. So
yes.
I'm nervous.
You nervous?
I'm very nervous.
Are you nervous about the game or are you nervous about the show?
We can't lose.
You need to drink more beer. Or take a gummy.
I'm nervous.
Quick shout out to our gracious host here at the hotel, the Signia Hotel, the Nest on Fort Bar. Go, if you're thirsty, go get you some drinks, go get you some food, and get ready to go into the bins and have a good time. Yeah. We appreciate y'all coming out.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah. I go what Tyler just said.
So we've got a lot to talk about. The way this is going to go down, first of all, if you haven't gotten a raffle ticket and you want to enter to win one of these cool little Atlanta United flags, come see this young man right here, my son. He will get you all set up with a raffle ticket, and we're going to do the giveaway probably 6:30 right before the lineups drop. So if you don't have a ticket yet, come get you one.
It's a nice flag, too.
It is.
Very nice
it is. It's a good flag.
It'll look good in somebody's garage or
What's the second prize?
bonus room.
The second prize?
Like, do you get to go clean people's houses? Is that like you send you out to someone's house to clean it?
Not me. You can do it while you're down here.
No, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and get a beer with me after.
Exactly.
I'll buy you beers afterwards.
So, all right, guys, we have a game to talk about. We're going to, if those of you that watch us know, we try to pride ourselves on having you guys kind of be interactive. We want to hear from y'all. We want to do the whole 9 yards, right? So we're going to give you guys, if anybody wants to get up here in a little while, give your 2 cents for 30, 60 seconds. You'll have your opportunity. All right, rant, rave, complain, do whatever you want to do. So you'll get your chance. So we'll get you up here. But what do y'all think? How's this going to go down?
They have to win. It's game 6 for New England. I think this is their 6th game of the year. We've been off for 2 weeks. We didn't look like we were right in Columbus, right? Everything looked off. Almada hadn't practiced with us. You got 2 weeks to get this back to normal. You got to win this. You got to win this game. Because then Pineda out is going to be trending on YouTube or on Twitter, on Facebook, and I can't handle that for another season. You have to win.
Yes, I agree. No, it's a home opener. My goodness. If you can't get up for the home opener, then something's wrong. 70,000 people in the bends. I don't know if the roof's going to be open. I mean, it's cloudy. It's not. Okay. Boo. Well, bummer. So never mind about the roof. I mean, still give me 70,000 people there in the beds, full capacity match. Like I said, if you can't get up for the home opener, what are you even doing? I mean, this team talks so much about we want to make Mercedes-Benz Stadium a fortress. It kind of talked about it with Sasha the other day. Just the importance of winning home matches and just making your own stadium just tough for teams to play at. And LA United definitely got their wins at Mercedes-Benz Stadium last year, but there's some situations where they dropped points and weren't as good at home as they would have hoped. So hopefully that changes. So hopefully that changes against New England today. Hope we don't need Almada scoring twice in stoppage time. I mean, that'd be great for ratings and all that, but
I can't deal with that kind of stress in my life today.
We'll need another heart attack moment.
No, make it comfortable. Make it comfortable. 3-1. Yeah. 3-1.
But by the way, did you all see Evander Skull against NYCFC?
Yes.
Whew.
Yes.
Oh my word.
But again, I don't need any heart attacks today. I need Atlanta to come into this match and be dominant. Come out, do what you do in front of 70,000 people, half of which feel like are in here right now, which is great. But no, yeah, I think you just have to come out strong. Pineda's been talking all preseason and into the extended preseason that it felt like we had after the Columbus match, that they just have to handle business at home and they've got to do better on the road. This is your chance to show that you actually have the right group of guys. On paper, you do. Now you got to go put it all together.
When you don't have Miguel Berry against the New England Revolution, that's where you get a little bit worried. You need a Miguel Berry off the bench.
Take a shot, Tommy.
Hopefully TRA can be the Miguel Berry if we need it.
It's $1 in the jar. Is that just for the former Brazilian winger, or is that for Berry as well?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, if you mention Arujo's name or Miguel Berry's name in this bar today,
$1 to charity.
It's $1 in the tip jar.
Miguel Berry has been brought up to me 3 times so far since I've arrived here. His name is well known here.
All right, so talking about New England for a minute. Does Carlos Hill play today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They rested him. He's ready to go.
I thought you said they arrested Carlos Hill, and I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be a really good day then. Sorry, Carlos Hill fans.
One player, we were talking about Hill, obviously, former MVP of the league. We talked about him, but we didn't talk about Tomas Chancalay a whole lot this week. He's had a pretty good start to this season. I think, I could be wrong, I'll have to look it up. 3 goals in his first 4 matches or something like that, but it's off to a good start for the season for the Revs, and this team has a lot of weapons outside of the heel. I mentioned Chancalay, Kessler. There's other players that Atlanta United really have to look out for. So they can't. Like you said, they got to make it comfortable, right? You can't just come out and sleepwalk. And I think the thing we saw against Columbus is, they just kind of sleptwalked the first half. Weren't tidy with the ball, a lot of turnovers, a lot of giveaways. Granted, they just gave it the 1 goal, just really one mistake that led to the goal, but still, just very sloppy. And Columbus, probably on another day, would have really put Atlanta United to the sword. So
you spend all your money on defense this entire offseason. You need to start defending. You need to stop goals. You got to, even if you don't get a clean sheet tonight, 1 goal allowed, just 1. If that's going to happen, you need to start. Pineda needs to prove that you can be, in the bottom quarter of goals allowed, right? When you spend all this money, yeah, you could score a lot of goals, but we don't want to keep seeing 5-4 heart attack games.
Yes, my blood pressure can't take it this year. So for those that are actually, it seems like everybody's here for the game. 1 game in, does the defense look better to you now? Yes, I see some yeses.
People say yes.
I hear some yeses. Yeah. I see some maybes. We'll to be determined.
They're Pineda curious.
Hey, that's true.
That's what it is. Like that Columbus game, if you would have had Josetu out there, oh God.
That's another one for
the entire lineup of last year, you would have got blown out. Last couple of weeks ago, you would have got destroyed. We watched those 3 playoff games, and yeah, they won here, but those 2 games in Columbus, we sucked. We were terrible.
Yeah.
And we would have had that exact same result. And that was only 1-0. That's great. You got to keep not allowing a lot of goals, but now you got to score them. And now you're at home, brand new turf. The ball moves faster, according to the internet.
The internet's always a.
The internet never lies.
No, it doesn't.
That's true.
Never.
I know what I was going to say.
Almada.
Like Tommy said, he hadn't trained with the team that headed to the Columbus match. So I felt that was kind of reflecting on how he played throughout the 90 minutes. And I've probably been a little bit more harder on Almada than most people. But, he's the star player, for crying out loud. So I feel like he's supposed to be helped to a higher standard. He's making a lot of money. He's going to be in Europe this summer. So
I don't think he's leaving.
You don't think he's leaving in the summer?
I don't know.
I think he's leaving in the summer.
Everybody's so sure that Almada is leaving.
No, he's leaving.
All these rumors of $20 million going. If someone gets desperate, maybe they'll come and offer the money. But if they keep him to the end of the year, if this team is good and they actually have a chance to win stuff, that gives them an incentive to play. Now, if they're bad and they're switching coaches in the middle of the season, which a lot of people have said that it's probably going to happen, then yeah, he'll want to leave. But if they're winning, that gives them an incentive to stay. So I think we're going to keep winning. He's going to stay.
Don't forget the Olympics, though.
Yep.
Don't forget the Olympics. He'll be in the Olympics.
Oh, we're going to bomb out a Leagues Cup, 100%.
Well,
You think so?
Oh, we're not going to have Wiley. We're not going to have Almada. Like, it's going to be hard. And even Garth Lagerwey said in an interview a couple of weeks ago, like, if we bomb out a Leagues Cup, he can't look at Pineda, at that and say, yeah, this is a fireable offense because you don't have your best players.
Yeah.
But this regular season before Leagues Cup and U.S. Open Cup, it still exists.
So
Can still work.
Let me ask both of y'all this.
yes.
In MLS, with the way that MLS decides to do their schedule, is it better from a roster building standpoint to go after folks that aren't capped? They're not going to be going out on international windows. I mean, I know it's a source of pride. Obviously, Atlanta United has many, many, many guys that are going to be going out. But in the long-term scheme of things, do you maybe go after the player that's maybe just that step below so you're not getting them taken away from you all the time?
I don't necessarily think you have to. I mean, you want to have enough in the tank. Yeah, you want to have enough players there. So if Yakimakis goes away to Euro qualifying or Almada goes to the Olympics, if Wiley goes to the Olympics, you want to have that depth below them that it doesn't necessarily have to be a star player, an international level player. I feel like Seattle, if you want to take the Seattle method, they have, obviously some international level players, but they had enough depth in the tank. So when, say, Jordan Morris had to go away for a little bit, they had a means to compensate for that. So I feel like if you look at that, how Garth Lagerwey built his teams in Seattle, you can kind of get a good guideline as to what the process will be in Atlanta. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. They'll definitely be at a disadvantage, I think, with so many players missing during Leagues Cup. And that leads to another question. Do they push for Leagues Cup this season? I mean, I don't think they'll crash out in the group stage, but is that something that you want to ultimately push for versus U.S. Open Cup versus Supporter Shield versus MLS Cup? And keep in mind, too, there's so many ways to qualify for Champions Cup, as Tyler, you said a lot. That's your expectation for this team is to make it to Champions Cup. So, excuse me, with so many mechanisms to make the cup, that's something else you have to keep in mind. Do you want to push for X competition versus this other competition? So,
Yeah.
If you're an international player, you're good, right? Most countries, unless
so.
you're real bad. You're a real bad country, and you have to bring someone up. If you're an international player, you're good, which means you're a good player. We're always full of good players because they're, I'm going to blame for their national team. So no, I mean, it sucks that we're in that situation that you constantly lose players, and when it's an international break and you have to look at all these backups and twos players playing, it's the cost of it. But there's no international duty during the playoffs. So long as you get to the playoffs, you got a chance.
And don't play Columbus in the first round in the playoffs. Again, don't side on me. I'm not putting it into existence. I'm just saying. All right, so got a few more minutes before we swap a couple of people out. But keys to this game. I mean, you talked about Almada. Obviously, I know, Sydney, one of your big points always is Almada has to step up and be the best player on the team because he has the talent. He has to help carry them. But how was that different this year compared to opening day last year when it took him literally putting the team on his back and scoring 2 wonder goals just to win the first game? What's different in this sense?
I mean, you don't need them to put them on your back. I mean, you need to. You don't want to be at a place where, yes, Almada's your best player, probably next to Yakimakis, but you don't want to be in a position where, okay, if we don't have Almada, we have 0 chance. You have to have other players step up. You have, players like Yakimakis, who I just mentioned. Tyler's always something on the display here, so I'm just gonna keep talking. You have Yakimakis, of course, who could be a Golden Boot winner this year. You have Lennon, who had a career season last year. Just talking about attacking-minded players, Shande, Saba, what you need production for those players as well. So if Almada Muyimba, exactly as Ariel's saying out here. So you want to be in a position where if Almada isn't at his best / suspended for fouls,
Yes.
two yellow cards as a result of the playoffs, you don't want to be in a position where, okay, we have to put everything on Almada. He has the ability to put the team on his back, but that doesn't mean you have to depend on him to put the team on his back to win. So that's one thing that Atlanta United really have to be careful of is we don't want to depend too much on this guy, and we don't want to be in a position where if we don't have him here, we can't win. So that being said, if he does go in the summer, I like to think Atlanta United does have a plan to step in or for somebody to step in for him. So
Yeah.
Vibes.
Tommy doesn't think he's going to be gone in the summer.
It's got to be vibes, right? The fans have to start off hot, and the players have to start off hot, right? If you go up 1-0 in the first 15 minutes of that game, I think it's over because when this team grows and they ever since Leagues Cup, when you got the wingers like you mentioned, they could be unstoppable, right? That's what happened in the Miami game. When Miami was around, they ended up doing fantastic, right? They got that first goal, and then it just kept going. That's what this team can do now when you've got two legit wingers and you're not depending on Giakoumakis and Almada for every goal. They've got to get it together. You know, Silva and Saba did not look great offensively early on in those games. He's getting better. That's what we need is for these guys to start off hot. And if you go down 1-0 early, what do teams do? They don't want to play soccer anymore at the Benz. They're just going to go back and they're going to defend, and then the crowd gets out of it because it's boring, right? That game, last home opener, since you brought it up, that game sucked. It was boring. Everybody was falling down. You know, the cart kept coming out halfway because everybody was faking injuries, and it took 2 miracle goals for it to come in. No, you just need to start off hot, get the crowd behind everyone, and it's over.
Yeah, that way you're not having to chase the match. Because if you go down 1-0, pretty much tactics go out the window to some extent. You're having to chase that goal to at least get it level. So, yeah. I think we both said, all three of us said, you can't lose at home.
Yeah.
Ever, really.
Yeah, I mean, and it's on Atlanta to essentially cut these teams open, right? Like a can opener. You have to get that first goal, and it allows you to open up so much space. You go back to last season, right? And some of your best matches, Portland, what was that, 4-0, Nashville, 4-0. You got the goal, and then the other team has to start chasing it. And Atlanta can absolutely dominate teams in the attack when the team has to open up to try to go get an equalizer. The alternative is that we haven't really seen yet with these new defenders. If you do go down, how do you still fight back? Because you know they're going to sit in a low block, like you said.
And don't forget this, too, though. New England played a midweek game. They play today. Then they play Wednesday. And then they play on Sunday. They've got a lot of games. Now, Wednesday doesn't mean nothing because they're up 4-0, right? But still, that's a lot of congestion.
I know, it's Champions Cup. You never know what could happen.
You're
it's CONCACAF.
You're a 4-0. If you I'm not saying it's 28-3, but it's 28-3.
Right.
I cannot believe you just brought that up in downtown Atlanta.
Sorry.
How dare you?
But you're up that much. Like, it's not important. But still, if you can knock them out early, send these guys home. Let them put their subs in and call it a day. And that's what you want. If you tell them at halftime, you're up 3-0, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes in, they start making a ton of subs. And then hopefully that's just over.
Yeah.
Put Dax McCarty in, you know, have him play defense, and you're done.
That's another reason.
If you see Dax McCarty in the game, you're up a goal probably, and you don't need anything else.
Human victory cigar.
What?
I said the human victory cigar.
I just said the same exact thing. Great minds, right? I think that's another reason why I think Heel will play because, like you said, Tommy, the tie is clinched already against El Hernandez, and I don't think that Caleb Porter is going to play many of his starters, if at all, on Wednesday, whatever the second leg is. So, I mean, stranger things have happened, but I don't see them giving up that lead this week. So get your starters out there, rest them on Wednesday in a very low risk match. Maybe bring them in 50 minutes remaining to get a little run out, keep their legs stretched for the upcoming league match. So
Cool. So before we get our good friends Mike and AJ from Atlanta United Fan TV up here, I got one last question.
yes,
Do we hit the over or the under on 70,000?
over.
You think so?
100% over.
Last year was 67.5, I think.
It's a home opener. I feel like
What you think?
folks will be
I
more
agree.
motivated to come out.
Over 70?
Yeah.
Over 70? Over 70? Okay.
Easy.
Cool. All right. We'll get Mike and AJ up here. Let
We're
Sydney and
getting
Tommy.
kicked off the table.
Yeah, we're booting them out.
Yes.
Let y'all go eat your food for a minute.
This food is great, by the way. Definitely recommend That's on 4 if you guys are ever back here. For those watching, if you're ever back here on match day, definitely match on 4.
Right. I know. Everybody can just pick off.
No, don't take my. No, I'm gonna. It is
It
good.
looks-
I'm
it
gonna
looks
kind of.
amazing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Got it really close. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
sure, like y'all aren't professionals or anything. So give it up for Atlanta United Fan TV, guys. Been around for a long time. Give them a round of applause.
Much love to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely,
for
man.
setting all this up.
We
That's
appreciate
awesome,
it.
man. This is
Appreciate y'all
incredible.
coming on.
Yeah.
So you can hop on that one and pull it out. And so first of all, because I know we all have our own little niches of.
Should I stand? You're standing. Should stand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stand- I mean, stand
Here
up.
we go.
I'm
like
burning
a-
off
it's
some
like a press
calories.
Yeah.
conference.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a press conference. It might be
Yeah,
fire.
I know.
Yeah,
You,
I know.
you like Pep
Like, it'd be
Guardiola.
fire. Like,
We just need the background,
Yeah.
shave your head, have a conversation about the finer
Mhm.
points of the game.
Uh-huh.
So, first off, just in case, because we have different crews, different little sections of the Atlanta United internet,
Mhm.
where can everybody find y'all, first of all?
Oh, we're gonna start off with that. Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
You can find us at Atlanta United Fan TV, everywhere. ATL UTD Fan TV on Twitter or X, and YouTube. Atlanta United Fan TV, all spelled out. Everywhere. TikTok, even if it's banned or not, I don't know. It might disappear, but
So,
we're not on LinkedIn. I'm sorry.
not on LinkedIn.
okay.
That's
all
the
right.
only
There's
one.
always
we're
the
not on.
one.
I know,
There's always
right?
the one.
Yeah.
So, how does it go? How does it go today?
Ooh, I think it is a barn burner. I think there's a lot of goals. I think, we're not quite there yet in terms of defensively. And at home, we should take care of business, theoretically.
Theoretically.
But yeah. It's, I think it's 3-2.
Okay.
And in terms of, it's like probably Thiago Mata gets a goal, maybe from a set piece, a little free kick action. But it's that type of game where we haven't scored a goal. So we need to kind of get our bearings.
Not in 2024.
Yep,
yet.
exactly. So I think that's key, is that we need to get our attack sorted out first. And it's a probably way less defensively stout team. So I think we can hurt them. But it might be late that we actually get that winner.
So you are calling for my blood pressure today.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy. What you got?
Well, first I have to start by saying I love Rick Shea.
Oh my God.
So if
So-
anyone
There's a
watches
forfeit that he
Oh,
had
yeah.
to do from the
So
last
if
anyone watches
episode.
our show, at the end of
Show,
our show, we have
Miguel
kind of
Berry.
a wheel of misfortune, and unfortunately, I spun that I had to do that out in public somewhere.
Yes.
So this is probably the most hospitable audience I could find for that. So
Probably.
Y'all
that's
didn't
what
give him
happened.
enough booze.
We really wanted him to do it in a Publix,
Yeah.
just like
It was we said
randomly.
public. Did you mean Publix? And we're like, public?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Breck Shea, the Lord and Savior, and the Snake Charmer.
The goat, yes.
Yep.
So I was a little bit kind of chastised for my view. That was, I believe, very optimistic in that we're going to win 3-0 today. You heard it right, 3-0 today.
I like the
Write
optimism.
it on my tombstone, 3-0 today.
Dying on that hill. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Why not? What are you going to do about it?
It's being recorded.
I'm
so
going to kill you on that.
all
hill.
of us
Yeah.
are going to have receipts come 9:30 or so.
Yeah.
The internet might come back and tell us we were all wrong. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, routinely, that's
It is very quick,
Most of my
famous
day.
last words.
Yes, famous
Yes.
last words.
Yep.
Starting lineup.
Mm.
What do you think it looks like?
Do we want to start from the back or from the front? Because I think it's spicier at the back. So
Yeah, it
maybe we
is.
just
Yeah,
start
yeah.
from the
Let's
front.
start from Yakimakis. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll give you the first one. It's Yakimakis.
Yeah, exactly. Yakimakis at the front. I think it's Saba, Almada, Silva. That's obvious. I think everything's obvious except for
Yeah.
who's at the back.
That's what I was saying.
In
The same
terms
11
of-
as before, except for one position, which is the
Yeah.
interesting question.
So, yeah. I mean, because, there's a positional battle in terms of Williams or Abram. But nothing Abram has done has really proven to, it's like, preseason, Williams has been the guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's going to go with him. But who's between the sticks? That's the question.
I don't think Brad's done anything to lose it though after the last game.
He probably hasn't. He saved a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't at fault for the goal. But there's all this like, okay, so do you go with the romantic pick for the captain, the longest standing captain of Atlanta United, walking the team out for the home opener? Or do you go with a guy that probably is the guy eventually that's going to be between the sticks? So,
Yeah, and that's where it becomes the conversation of, do you continue to build chemistry with Brad?
Yeah.
Because you know he's going to yell and scream at everybody back there.
Yeah.
Or you get Cohen in there, who eventually, I mean, that's not a secret. Like, Cohen's going to be the guy at some
Right.
point.
Right.
But how long does Brad keep it? Because we know he's going to fight for it. So,
Right. Yeah.
What you think, Mike?
I mean, I've said this. I'm on the record, and I'll stay on the record in saying that it doesn't matter this game, and it didn't matter last game which goalie we rolled out with. Everything would have pretty much have conspired the same way last game, and it will this game as well, which is 3-0. Doesn't really matter who we have in goal. I think we're going to stop.
There you go.
the
A
attack.
clean sheet with the
Clean
goalkeeper
sheet.
not
I
having to do
believe
anything.
so, regardless of who it is. And I think it could be a nice walkout for Cohen. You know, theoretically speaking, if we pick him, but Brad, I think, deserves it because this is kind of a win or lose the position type of team and mentality. And Brad hasn't lost it. So there isn't really a reason if that's their convention they're working with, which I think it is.
Sweet. I know you guys are working on getting over to the March.
We're trying to march.
March, yeah. Final thoughts. What you got?
Yeah. I mean, I heard there might be some Pineda out stuff or whatever,
Yeah, some
but
whispers.
but this is not a game that's going to be a marker for him in terms of any effectual things. And it's the home opener. I mean, basically, he's got to go on a winless run probably in this month. And even then, probably not.
Yeah.
So, I think
He's on the
we
last
can-
year of his contract.
Exactly. So we could just probably squash any of the hashtag Pineda outs. And that's my thought is that,
Premature.
it unfortunately doesn't really matter what happens tonight, except for the fans and the players in that
Right.
sense. But
I got you. What you got, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I would mic drop, but these aren't my mics, but it's 3-0.
There, we can fake mic drop. There we go.
yeah.
Atlanta United Fan TV. Appreciate it, guys.
Cheers.
Mike, AJ.
Much love to you guys. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. Y'all welcome back
Thank you.
anytime.
Much love to you guys. Vamos! Come on!
Love.
Let's go! I'm not leaving.
Now drop the mic. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it, guys. That was fun. All right, so I'm going to step off and enjoy my drink for a second. Sydney, Tommy coming back up, and our good buddy from Scarves and Spikes, Henry Higuita. They're going to chat for a little bit more. Two quick things. Again, if you haven't entered the raffle to win this, not this flag, a brand new one that's not taken out of the bag yet, come up here, see my son here, this young man in the brown jacket. He will get you all set up with a raffle ticket. And then besides that, if you are, again, stuck in this bar and you showed up and you're like, who are these people talking? Scarvesandspikes.com. Go on Twitter, scarves, the letter N, spikes. scarves and spikes anywhere else on the internet. So there's our quick plugs.
Yes.
We appreciate it very much. We appreciate the turnout.
Henry
And,
is waiting
yeah.
patiently for his time on the microphone.
Okay.
Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Hey guys, what's up?
Come on.
How's everyone doing?
I want to ask a question.
Terrific.
Let's cause trouble. Does Pineda coach the last game of this season, or is he let go at some point this year?
Seeing
Raise
a
your hand if
handshake
you think
no.
Pineda's here all year.
Tommy, put down the drink.
Several hands raised.
You're cut off for the night.
Oh, no. All right. Who thinks Pineda's gone before the end of the season? Oh, wow. That table's...
Couple hands.
I've never
raised
seen
for that.
two people raise their hands as quick as those two.
That was
many
fast. No hesitation.
How many are indifferent either way?
Hey,
Made up their mind.
I didn't want to tell you, but they run the Pineda Out Twitter account. 100%.
It's good to meet you.
Well, what are your thoughts? Does he stay here the whole year?
Does he the whole year?
The whole year.
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, I think you definitely have to wait and see. I think mid-season, if things are trending weird, then definitely I would see the case for changing him. I just don't think right now we have enough data points to do that. This is definitely the year where he has the most pressure. I think, he has the squad that he needs. He has a very good team of players. He has Thiago Almada still somehow.
Mm.
And so I think, this is really the year where we can judge him. Am I
No.
it's too far? Thanks.
No, all I heard was mem. No, you need an answer. You need an answer. Is Pineda here at the end of the year or not? That's Sydney's thing. Sydney will give me a whole long explanation without the answer.
No.
I want an answer. Is he here
Tommy,
the whole year?
I know how.
The only answer I can say is we'll see. And
Replace him.
It starts with tonight.
It's a very nice
with what we're
political
going to
answer,
see
Henry.
tonight. Let's wait and see what happens, and then I'll give you an answer. All right?
All right, blink 3 times. I know you don't want to say it, but we're locking eyes right now. Blink 3 times if he's here all year.
Tommy.
He's not blinking. He doesn't believe in Pineda.
Henry,
He's out. He's
Tommy.
out. All right,
He's running for office. He's
No
gonna get into
pressure.
Politics.
we need an
placeholder.
answer. We need an answer.
I say yes because this
See
team
how
is going to be
easy it
very
was?
good in
It
2024.
was easy.
Yes, that's how it's done.
All right,
That's
one more
awesome.
try.
I can't give an answer right now. I don't feel like I can give that answer right
Why
now.
not though? Why not?
I don't know.
But if you were making a bet,
I'm
making
not
a bet
betting
today,
man.
okay.
If
All right.
Tommy.
What question could we give you that you give an answer to? Well, here I'll answer.
Okay.
I don't think he is.
Why not?
I think that in the summer, unless this team's in the top 4 and they're continue to struggle defensively, now we've seen it a little bit better. I think they might find Garth Lagerwey has never been able to hire his own coach before. Not only do players come available in the summer, coaches become available in the summer. Unless this team is top notch, not allowing a lot of goals, I think he starts looking.
Okay, so you
And it's a perfect time too, because Leagues Cup, like I said, I don't believe in this team in Leagues Cup because there's so many players out. You've got an entire, if you bomb out of it, you've got 2 to 3 weeks to get a new coach in and start figuring out a system to then go make a run in the playoffs, if that's it.
Okay, but you kind of saying that, okay, if we're not top 4 by this point, he has to go. So by that, I'm taking that you don't believe this team will be top 4 in the summer or by the end of the season. Am I kind of getting that right?
if he were to get sacked, do they bring in a guy like Savarese? He's available.
What do we know about Atlanta United last year? They were bad on the road, terrible on the road, right? They
answer
allowed
my
a lot of
question,
goals.
though? Did they answer my question?
But
though?
that was last year.
What?
But that was last year.
Right. We didn't allow a lot of goals in Columbus, but we did lose on the road.
We have one data point for this season, and that is a road game to Columbus.
Right. And they need to prove us wrong, right?
We gotta wait and see. That's why, one game into the season, I feel like it's too early to kind of make these predictions. That's why I don't want to give an answer. I don't know. Wait, I don't know.
But we give answers for
I don't know
fun.
what we'll see tonight. I don't know what we're gonna see against Orlando. I don't know what we're gonna see, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now. after we have some data points, I'll gladly give you an answer.
All right, I will talk to you around 10:05 tonight. I will tweet you, and you tell me. Will you give me an answer after tonight?
Tommy, I think at that time I can't give you a very good answer.
Go away. Just get out of here. Go home.
Going back to my original question, though, if they sack him, they bring in somebody like Savarese to coach the team.
So the problem is with the Atlanta United coaches is that you don't want this to be a stepping stone, right? And you see that in college football a lot where like guys come in and the plan is 1-2 years and then you're out. I wanted to try to find a guy like Schmetzer that was able to stay here for a long time and have success. So sometimes hiring the big name just means, yeah, I'll come coach you for a year or two and then you're out. And then what do you have to do? You have to keep rebuilding. And we've seen that with Tata. We saw that with, Frank de Boer was supposed to be a long-term. And Heinze, you knew wasn't going to be here long term. That was a 1-2 year project. You want someone here long term, and that's what Pineda. That's what the hope is, right? Pineda's here for a long time. He's a young coach. He came with the guy that has been in MLS for a long time, had no desire to leave.
Right.
That's the goal. I hope it's that, but I just don't know if it's the time for him now.
I think one of the things that Pineda has going for him is that the players really seem to want to play for him. They are motivated. It seems like there's really great vibes in the locker room. You just see them happy, friendly and all. So no, I think he has that going for him. And I think the best thing is for them to find a coach that can continue to kind of cultivate that kind of environment, right? Make the players continue to want to play for you. And ultimately, when you have happy players, motivated players, they're going to give you a much better product on the field than if they're, miserable, than if they're not exactly happy. I think that's one thing that you want to look for in the coach. It's not the only thing, obviously. You want a coach that, knows about soccer, actually.
Let me ask you guys this as well. Giakoumakis, does he win the Golden Boot this year?
Is he winning the Golden Boot?
Yeah.
100%.
Think so, Tommy? No?
Let's see how long Cucho's in MLS.
Why don't you give me a straight answer, Tommy?
No.
Why don't you give me an answer right now?
Then he doesn't.
You don't think so? If Cucho sticks around for the year?
No, but let's ask another controversial question. Let's keep going there. Brad Guzan or Cohen? Oh, boy. Brad Guzan. All right, that was mediocre. Cohen? Oh.
What do you think? You've mentioned it, but just...
I've seen Brad a lot. I know what he brings. I was going to say he's older, but I'm older than him, so I'm making fun of myself when I make fun of him. I think you have to see, but he has to lose the job. When everybody was calling for Cohen at the beginning of the season, unless he was really bad in the preseason, which he wasn't, then he has to have that job. You absolutely, in any sport, the veteran's going to get the job that's been with the team forever until he loses it. And he had a hell of a game in Columbus.
Especially when that veteran is the team captain, right? And one that has been here.
And he yells a lot, too.
Yeah, he's very vocal. That's the thing. He's kind of intimidating at times, right? First of all, he's a big guy. He yells a lot, like in training even. He's like the loudest guy. And I think that kind of thing, when you have that level of leadership in a team, it's valuable, right? It's valuable to have. Commanding the back line and doing the things that he's doing now. In terms of his saves and stuff, I think that bringing Cohen brought that competition. They accomplished what they were looking for. And ultimately, against Columbus, I think he did a good job. And, he saved a penalty. I don't know, was that like the first penalty he saved for Atlanta? It might have been.
Something like that.
In a long time, yeah.
But that's huge, right? I almost knocked over a beer here. That would have been bad.
Back on the table.
Too much Heineken Zero. Too much Heineken Zero.
But no, I think it's definitely his job to lose. But I think the longer that you can have him and he's performing well, the more you can keep that core of leadership, the more that you can keep what he gives you in that sense. Because he also gives you a great thing about him is kind of his ability with his feet to play out of the back the way that Atlanta wants to. That is valuable for this team. He rarely misplaces one of those short passes. Going long, another story. But with the short passes, which is exactly how this team wants to build forward, he is pretty good. And I think as long as he can continue doing those things that he is doing now, I think he sticks around. I think he deserves that job for now.
So it sounds like what you guys are saying is, unless he proves that he's not, I don't say QB1, GK1, stick with him. That's what you guys are saying.
If he allows 3 goals tonight, then
don't dump him,
the internet's going to be hot.
So don't dump
speak
him
that
after,
into existence.
Yeah, if he has like one bad game, don't dump him, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that'll motivate Pineda to make a change. But if he puts together a few matches of poor form, then you have to think about it. Then you have to really talk about, okay, do we make that change? And I think that's kind of why they brought Cohen in, right? Because of that possibility of, okay, what if Brad goes on a spell of poor form? Then that's where you make that change. Not after just like one bad game. The fans may say it. The fans may want it, but I don't think that's a move to make.
I mean, everyone's entitled to a bad game. The thing
Yeah.
is that when you're a goalkeeper, a bad game means you concede several goals, and it's much more noticeable. A midfielder has a bad game, and maybe you don't progress as much. Maybe you don't control possession as much. A forward has a bad game, doesn't score, but when you're back in that position and you're the one guy, right? You can have 3 forwards. This team runs 3 forwards. You have 3 midfielders, 4 defenders. But when you're the one goalkeeper, all that pressure is on you. And so, yeah, he might have a bad game. Does that mean you should drop him immediately? No, I agree with you, Sydney.
Right.
Like you got to give him a shot there, a fair shot.
Yeah.
The chat says Cohen. The YouTube chat says Cohen. They're loving Cohen.
Hey, that's totally fair. I mean,
Yeah, Brosho vlog saying, calling that Champions League experience. Sure, but I mean, I think they got grouped. Maccabi Haifa did. I mean, Champions League experience, right? I'm not putting my nose up at that, but at the same time, this was with a team that wasn't great. It was matched up against very good teams. So, yes, I see where you're going, but again, I don't know if you make that change after like one bad game. That's what I'm saying.
Pineda's contract is up at the end of the year. He is playing for his job. Fans have said for a while it takes too long for him to make changes, right? Rocco's Rios, or shorter? Was he shorter? Was he this short?
Rios.
Rocco's Rios played way too many games for Atlanta United. He probably make the playoffs that year if they make the change. They didn't. Will he make decisions faster? Because he knows that this is a contract year and he's got to win. He has to win. He has to perform. So I'm curious if Guzan does struggle, like you said, yeah, I don't think it's one bad game and out. But if it's a couple games, does he make that change? Because this guy wants to coach for this team long term. He's playing for that contract. I don't know.
He said he doesn't. He told Charlie Boehm from MLSsoccer.com, I don't feel the pressure. I mean, I believe him, but I think at the back of his mind, he knows that he's going in without a contract next season. So he understands, look, I got to make some changes to keep my job. This team has to be good to keep my job. And Garth said it, we kind of give him his own players, so to speak. So, yeah, while he says he may not feel pressure, he knows, like, look, I got to win or I'm gone.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Welcome back, by the way, Tyler.
Thank you. Final thought.
Are you asking me for my predicted score today?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm predicting 3-1 Atlanta.
Hey, we agree on something. That's a first.
Woohoo! All right, cool. Henry, you are awesome. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
If you can get my credential and his for us, that would be great. I know you can't, but.
I can't, but I'll tell them you're coming.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, buddy.
Cheers, Henry.
Give it up for Henry. Woo! I don't want to spill your beer.
This is the second time this has happened, so I'm going to set my beer up here where it's safe and sound.
All right,
So we still got, half an hour before lineups?
15 minutes.
Right, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes for
Or so.
lineup. So,
Thereabouts.
should we get people up here and start giving them a platform
That's fine.
and seeing what the vibe is like?
Yeah.
All right. I see you, Ariel. By the way,
Ariel has been chomping at the bit.
yes, he has.
all
Happy
evening.
birthday to Ariel's father.
Yes.
Quick shout out to Ariel's dad. 70th
awesome.
birthday. That's
That's awesome.
awesome. All right, Ariel, you're first. And anybody
Come on
else
up,
that
sir.
wants to get up here and give their 2 cents for about a minute, just get in line. We'll get you in.
So interactive spaces
Yeah, interactive as always.
or live spaces, in-person
You're
spaces.
spelling.
Roger that. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got you.
So this question is going to be more of a bit of a dialogue, right? Less of just a rant, okay? So you guys were talking about how Goose has the leadership and he has the powerful voice and the intimidation factor, right? We've heard in the interviews recently from Pineda that there's these leadership groups that have been built, right? The leadership group of the team. Do you think that diminishes Goose's role in the team as now that we have a leader in the back line with Brooks? We have a leader in the midfield with whoever it is. We have a leader in the front with Gigi. Now that we have the players, they know who to go to for their positions instead of just looking back and looking at Guzan. Does that not diminish his role as the leader of the group?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you were saying like certain position groups have different leaders. I think Guzan's kind of like at the top. I'm kind of like thinking of, I don't know if anyone plays Football Manager in here, but it's kind of like that Football Manager, your quote unquote mentorship group. So I imagine like you're kind of hitting on, it looks something like that. Each player has a mentor or a player that they look up to as they go around the team. And Brad is kind of like the overarching quote unquote captain, like certainly for the back line, certainly for the defense, but really as a voice in the locker room. I'm trying to think of a liaison is I think the word I'm looking for all the players. You go to Pineda, go to the coaches to say, hey, this is what the locker room is feeling. This is kind of the temperature of the locker room. So I think that's certainly Guzan's job as captain. That being said, I feel like, again, each position group has players that they look up to. Like, I would say, for example, a Jay Fortune could look up to certainly McCarty. McCarty's been in the league forever. Fortune has been in the league for a couple of years. So you certainly see where Jay could look up to Dax or TRA could look up to Yucca. Yeah. So just some examples, but totally see your point where you're headed.
So to counter that, right? The idea that Goose is the captain, my personal opinion is I don't think anyone is either fans or the team would be upset if Gigi got the armband instead of Goose. Oh, Tyler's shaking his head. He disagrees.
I think Lennon.
I agree with you. I'm shaking my head because I'm like, no, I don't think anybody would be upset because I think he's got it. I think he's a natural born leader. Yeah, he gets everybody going. My 2 cents really quick before Tommy answers the question. I think with that leadership group that Pineda talked about, I think one of the things that kind of piggybacking on what Sydney said, you have to remember too, is you're always going to have Brad. Brad's the veteran of the club. I mean, he's been here almost since day one. For everybody else, it feels like day one, you know? But I think more than taking it away from him entirely, I think what this does is it takes all the pressure off of him to be the leader, and it just disperses that a little bit around. So, you know, yeah, like you said, your midfielders can go to, let's say, McCarty. I know Brooks Lennon is on this group, so I'll speak to Brooks. That right wing, some of the midfield, they can go to Brooks and say, hey, these are the issues we're having. What can we do to fix it? It doesn't always have to be back on the captain with the armband. It can be the other captain who just doesn't happen to have an armband.
In all sports that have captains, like in hockey, you have a captain, you have alternate captains. And in the NFL, you've got like 6 captains or something like that. But in soccer, you just have one, right? But you've got to start preparing this team for Brad Guzan to leave, 100%. Whether he's out the end of this year or if there's another, there's an add-on year or whatever, you got to start preparing for the future. And like you said, Brooks Lennon is that guy, right? He's a quiet leader. but you're going to have to hand it off to somebody because a couple years ago, I think everybody had the armband, right? They just pulled the hat out. They pulled the name out of a hat. Yeah, you get a hat. You get the captaincy. You get it. They've got to figure out who's the long-term captain here. And like, think about it as like a normal job.
It's gonna be GG.
Yeah, it could be, but like, even in a normal job, what do, right? You grow future leaders. That's like what most jobs do. You have the supervisors, the boss, and then you have like the future leaders. That's just what they're doing here. They're trying to create future leaders. And even if it's some of the young players, right? Like, I don't know if Caleb Wiley's in that group, but if you were trying to keep Caleb Wiley here for a long time, I'd absolutely put him in that group because, yeah, he's young and he possibly could just continue to stay with this team long term.
So you talked about captains. In Europe, you have vice captains and all of that. You don't really see it in MLS. I think Atlanta United could have some vice captains. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I have my mic far away. In Europe, you have vice captains. You don't really see that in MLS. I feel like Atlanta United do. They don't publicize it, but I feel like they do. Like, who are those players below Gazan who are considered captain types? I don't know if Wiley is one of those. I think, like you're kind of saying, he's young. I was going to say, too, you're talking about so many people wore the armband when Guzan was injured a couple of years ago. I didn't
Josetu was a captain.
Yeah,
Josetu was
more
a captain.
than one time.
I was going to say I didn't like Pineda's approach, where the longest person that's been here is the captain. I didn't like that. I think now you have players who, have been here a while, but know the team, know the culture of the team. I think a Lennon type would certainly make a good captain. I would say Gregerson, since he's a little bit older at 28, but he just got here. But Lennon certainly, maybe Yakimakis, but he's a little more emotional, on the emotional side. But yeah, I agree. They need to kind of think of that, what it looks like post-Guzan from the captaincy standpoint.
What about Slish? Like, you just brought him on here, right? The cornerstone of your defense, and he's signed here for how many years? 4? That's a guy I'm putting in that leadership group and saying, hey, I know you're new here, but if we want a guy here that's kind of in the middle of everything to go help the defenders, help the offense, that's a perfect guy. And then, like, he's obviously growing, right? Garth said we got him for his entire prime. That's a guy I'm looking and saying, yeah, he might be our future captain.
So that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about.
This guy's a good host. Why didn't we hire him?
I'm stepping out, guys. Taking my job.
No, I just wanted to join the group. So you mentioned Bartek, right? We saw him in Columbus, and he seemed a little lost. We saw his technical ability, but he was like overlapping with Almada. He was in places where he didn't know if he should be. And Brooks mentioned this week that the chemistry is building, but it's still not there. So with combination with the idea of the captain's armband, right? What does it take to really get the chemistry 100% ready to go every single game? We can expect bangers left and right.
2 weeks off. 2 weeks off. You just had 2 weeks.
Okay, Tommy, so I better see Bartek in the perfect position.
100%. You just had one game. You got to play one game in a preseason, and now you get to go and you got 2 weeks off. You got Almada back, right? I mean, if me and you went to go play any sport together, we just met 35 minutes ago, we would suck.
We've been talking for so long, though.
But in person, we would not be able to do much. And that's the thing. Like, these guys just met like a week before, like on the field. It's gonna be a mess. And that's what we ended up seeing. What it was, a mess. And that's why people are questioning, should Almada start? You got to start your starters. You got to start your best players. That's why he played. But it looked not great, especially early on. It looked better. But now you had 2 weeks to do this. If it still looks bad, I'm a little nervous. Not a ton of nervous, just a little nervous.
Yeah, I was going to say time. Definitely time with the team. You can't expect new players to automatically have chemistry. Yeah, it has to be time. There has to be training. There has to be opportunities off the field to grow and get to know each other. We're talking about this team. Kind of goes back to, I mean, some players are able to play like they've played with each other for years, but oftentimes that's not the case. You need time, you need training, you need, chemistry doesn't happen overnight.
Okay, so
You
Sydney,
have to build it up.
my follow-up is how much time?
That's a good question. That's a good question. feel pressure to answer. No, that I mean,
Where's
yeah,
Henry?
absolutely. How much time does it take? That's the big question. Yeah, like weeks. I would say like maybe the first. Thanks, Ariel. I would say maybe the
Ariel,
first
everybody.
month or so is that chemistry building time. I mean, there's still going to be like some wrinkles to work out after that first month or two, but yeah, it's an ongoing process though. It's an ongoing process, but I feel like the first and second month is like.
One of the
critical.
things people said about this team was it take too long for players to come in and be able to do things. Pineda proved that wrong after Leagues Cup. You brought 2 new wingers in, and they immediately scored goals.
And a midfielder.
Immediately, right? I mean, Saba came in and had like 3 goals in like 10 minutes. I know that's an exaggeration, but
I mean, it's not much of an exaggeration.
yeah,
though.
he's scoring goals. Silva's scoring goals. That entire offensive side meshed completely, and that's why we made the playoffs. That's why we finished where we were. They all of a sudden turned it on, and they made Atlanta United exciting again, because Atlanta United hadn't been very exciting for a long time. The team we fell in love with early on stopped scoring goals, and that's why that's why I got into this team, was because they were exciting. They weren't winning 1-0 games. Sorry, Frank de Boer, but the games were fun again, right? And you could tell the vibes were getting higher as the games went on. And then the playoff game here was crazy. You know, you're scoring a bunch of goals. You're doing exactly what the old Atlanta United teams do. That's why today you've got to go prove to everybody in that stadium, everybody watching at home, that you could score a ton of goals and not lose, right? And if that's it, then it's the ground up, because you need to sell tickets. Even though people come to the games, if they're not cheering like crazy and going, you know, the way it was early on, that's why people said Mercedes-Benz was a fortress, right? Even though you were selling out games, sometimes the stadium was quiet, right?
Yep.
They say defense wins championships, but offense helps a whole lot too, especially in soccer.
Yeah.
And that's what they said that they want, though. They don't want to go away from the original plan. We want to score a lot of goals. Yeah, we might allow a lot, but they just proved that they just replaced a bunch of guys on defense to make this team better defensively.
And say what you want about Pineda. I know we've had that conversation, but
The Pineda out people left.
yeah, that's okay.
You're okay.
I'm still going to say it for their benefit. He said over and over again that he's not changing up the style. They're going to attack. They're going to play attacking soccer. They're going to have fun. They're going to score goals, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Right.
Stop doing that.
Knock on wood.
Stop doing that.
He didn't get hurt, Tommy. It works. Knock on wood. All right, lineups are about to drop in a minute. Again, if you want to, it's free. It's free. I didn't say that. My bad. But to enter to win this flag that you can take in the stadium, wave about, we'll do whatever you want to. It's free. Go see my son, this young man over here in the brown jacket. He will get you a raffle ticket. Again, it's free. All you got to do is go get one, and we will do the drawing here in just a few minutes. So,
And again,
the lineups did drop, by the way.
oh,
They did.
cool.
I'll put that on hold.
Well, let's talk about that, and then we'll do the giveaway.
Lineups.
So
There we
Miguel
go.
Berry's starting.
Shut up. What are you doing, Tommy? That's another $1 for the
It's the
jar.
same.
So no changes from Columbus.
No, Columbus. Oh, versus Columbus. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
which
There's no
town?
changes. This is exactly what we thought.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. So
No. But then
But it's expected, right?
Guzan is starting, by the way.
There we go.
So one thing is that you have Mascara back.
Yep.
Mascara is on the reserves. Derek is not.
What does that say about Mascara and Derek at this point?
Get rid of Derek.
Now, to be fair, Derek also had an injury, but
All year last year,
well, no, I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about preseason coming up to now.
I've seen a sample size. Thank you.
I knew you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I will take Edwin Mascara to come on in the 70th minute and score a goal all day. But Etienne, like, what do you do at this point?
You can't do anything with him. I mean, you can't get rid of him at this point. The rumor is that they did use their buyout on Eric Lopez. That's the story out there. So you can't just go cut this guy. You got to hope that it works at some point. You got to give him some time. How do you give him some time? By going up a lot of goals in games so that you could throw him in and what, garbage time, right?
Wow.
I think they trade him.
No,
at
you,
some point this
you can't
season.
trade.
They, can.
You can't trade a guy that makes that much money. Can you retain salaries in MLS?
They got to do something with him. I mean, he's on this team.
I mean,
for like
we
a
got
couple years,
LA
right?
Galaxy to take the rights to Miguel Berry. It's possible. It's possible.
I don't think they could trade him unless you're doing the other team a huge favor, or the other team's doing you a huge favor of getting rid of him. But you've got depth on wing, right? You lost some guys, but you've got Wolf and you've got Mascara coming in late on games. Both those guys, they killed it. They killed it. I brought up Derek and
Ariel has.
I just wanted to quickly say, well, how do you feel about Gonzalo consistently calling out Etienne as a reliable backup that can come into games? He said it so many times, even in his interview this week. He says, yeah, we have Etienne ready to come on, but he's not in the lineup.
Well, I want to give him a lie detector test because he's full of it. Because if anybody watched this team last year with him in it, it was not good. I think he maybe got an assist. Maybe an assist.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But, see,
Something like that.
okay, this week I'll give him the benefit because he's injured. Like, I don't think he's
He
ready.
was injured last preseason.
Well, and I also there was also the caveat he wasn't on the injury list. But I think it says a lot regardless. If you throw in all those variables, he is not there. Abel Mascara is. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't think. No, not that I don't think. I know because I've heard Pineda say it. He's not going to talk bad about his guys. He's never going to say anything to downplay them. I think to answer that question, why does he keep calling them out? Because Derek is a veteran, and I think even though he's not contributing on the field at this point, I do think he's going to be contributing in the locker room. He is a vibes guy. He is funny. He's a locker room guy.
He is.
He's hilarious. He really is. He's a personality guy.
He just can't get-
let's
he just
bring
can't get on the-
Jurgen Damm back
just can't
then
get on the
because
pitch.
he has
Let's do
good
it.
TikToks. Let's bring Dom back because he can
Why
dance
not?
on the internet. No, I don't want vibe guys on my team.
If they're not making the lineup sheet, why not? You got to pay him anyway.
Why did I fly out here?
That's
Why
another
did you
dollar,
fly
by the
here,
way.
Tommy?
What's that?
That's another dollar, by the way, for Jurgen Damm.
No, if I say it, I don't know money in my own jar.
We have gone through this entire podcast and named off every single player
Kubo,
that we said we
Kubo,
weren't going to
Kubo,
do.
Kubo.
There's another one.
Oh, there it is.
Aruju.
We already said
We
Arujo.
already said that.
I know, but I didn't say it.
Okay, well, there you go.
No, you try to make it work. You try to build up value, but you can't build up value and win at the same time. But like I said, unfortunately, yeah, if you're up a couple goals, bring him in, try to see if he could show what he has, and if he could be a reliable winger that can produce offensively, that's fine. If not, you cut him at the end of the year, or you try to trade him.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to want him. Like, he was the most sought free agent in MLS at that point, right?
It's been a bust, yeah.
That came in. And now he is paid a lot of money, and nobody's going to be interested in this guy. He's been injured twice. He's had 2 serious injuries.
Could you loan him, though?
What's that?
Could you put him out on loan, though?
Oh, yeah. Let's put him on loan.
You can't trade him.
I mean, as
Where's
long as the
Jurgen Damm
loan
at right
works
now?
out in a way to where it actually takes somebody off the roster. Because right now you have Sosa and Ibarra on
Yeah,
loan,
that's
and
right.
that's not freeing up any space, technically.
Yeah.
So if there's a way to do it, absolutely. I think you've got to find somebody else for that position. Because that's the thing. Like, he's still going out on international duty, and he's not
Right.
contributing to the club right now.
He's not playing. He wouldn't be.
How
in,
is that team, though?
He wouldn't be in Greg Berhalter's.
What team does he play
team
for?
If you're American.
80? Yeah. 80.
I'm a hater, so.
Wow. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh. Don't say that.
All right. We
Sorry
said
to
we
our
were
Haitian viewers.
Well, I know I'm hating on him, not the country. Jeez.
All right, we said we're going to get you guys out of here. Plenty of time, so we're going to go and do this drawing. Z, bring up the Chick-fil-A hat that we got
Yeah.
just outside.
All right, wait, again, shout out
Wait,
to
is
Nest on 4 and the Signia by Hilton. Thanks again for hosting us. Thanks again for bringing us in to do this before the match.
You ready?
All right, who's drawing?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. And yes, again, like just to echo what Sydney said, Nest on 4 bar, thank you so much. Signia by Hilton, thank y'all so much. It has been awesome. Who won?
Who we got?
Kubo Torres,
Dang it.
Who we got?
Jamie Luke,
Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
still here?
Jamie in here. Jamie, we might have to contact by. Hopefully, there's a number.
There's a
on
phone
there.
number.
Awesome.
Okay. We'll get in
All right,
touch
I'm
with
putting you in
Jamie.
charge of this.
What?
Don't lose it.
Okay.
All right. So shout out to Jamie. We will get Jamie the flag. But again, on behalf of all of us, Scarves and Spikes, Raiden, I see your
Tyler's
awesome.
son has a sign.
Yeah,
in the
that's my
crowd.
son with a Scarves and
Appreciate
Spikes
the
banner
sign.
back there. Maybe he'll get put on TV in a little while.
I can't see what the writing is on his sign. I think it says Pineda out.
Is it Pineda
What are you
out or is it
teaching
Jurgen
him?
Damm?
What are you teaching
I'm
him?
teaching him all the right things. Okay. No, we appreciate it, guys. If you again are not following us on all the social media, Scarves, the letter N, Spikes on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it nowadays. Scarves and Spikes everywhere else. We have the website. It is now the only place where you can go to get all the free Atlanta United news from the training ground. Obviously from the bins, we'll be up in the press box, everywhere else. It is the only free location as of now, as of the beginning of this season.
Yeah.
So, and again, thank you to Signia. Thank you to Nestle
Yes.
4 Bar for hosting us. And we'll be looking to do it again for She Believes Cup and the Copa America. So y'all
That's what
come back out.
Just a reminder, we're on YouTube. If you're new to the show, you're on YouTube every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Podcast is available shortly thereafter or morning after at the latest. But yeah, we have that available as well. So if you are new to Scarves and Spikes, another way to follow us and get our takes every week.
Let's go win a game.
Let's
Yes.
go win a game. Vamos. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.